Jake, is the sky falling?
Always, man. It always is.
We have got a secret layer, secret rarity, hot new crap to talk about. Twitter's been a buzz today. We sprinted to our machines. We got to show y'all some cool pictures and talk about what this means for the future.
Trigger warning, we're about to talk about MTG Finance, FOMO, collectibles. It might make you feel really, really dirty. So get ready to call us bootlickers as we break this down, and the video starts right now. Highest level of gratitude to our patrons who power the channel through Patreon. Check out the Patreon link in the description to learn about monthly giveaways, VIP Discord access, and even our official playmat. Hello and welcome to the day.
Thank you for spending your time with us.
I'm Jake.
I'm Joel. We're a little spicy today. Thank you for watching Jake and Joel Are Magic. Welcome back to another episode. Okay, we just got to jump right into this one. Hit like and subscribe, all the YouTube stuff. Jake, let's jump over.
There's a Patreon if you want to get into that. But yeah, let's go ahead and talk about this. We have some stuff, Joel. Break it down for us.
Let's swap over. Okay, so today, our GM of sales over at Star City Games, at Star City Ben, go follow him on Twitter, just opened what appears to be an amazingly rare card out of the most recent secret layer drop. I confirmed later with him on Twitter that this is from the foil Phyrexian Praetors secret layer drop. Viscera Seer, but with all of the text printed backwards. MTG Secret Layer, any comments? We haven't had anything from the official Secret Layer or Wizards yet, Twitter accounts. Doubtful we will. We haven't really ever had any confirmation of even like the stained glass planeswalkers or any of the, blueprint special inclusions that we've been seeing recently. So doubtful we'll get anything there, but this came out of a Secret Layer that Star City apparently was mass opening. Jake, what we've got here is a backwards printed Viscera Seer. I'm going to go to a different picture here. It's a little bit more zoomed in.
Is even the art backwards or just the text?
I don't think that the art is backwards. That's a really good question,
I don't think it is,
though.
but I just want to make sure before we start to talk about it.
The art is backwards.
Okay, so
and
even
actually
the art is backwards.
The art is backwards and it looks a little different? No, it looks the same. It looks the same.
No, it's just foil.
The whole card is backwards, period. That's the whole thing, is that the whole card is backwards.
Except for...
Yep. Number 77 of 100 printed right onto the card. Jake and I have been saying for a year and a half, 2 years, the ultimate version of these secret layer things, what we're going to get to is, okay, you can buy the Phyrexian Praetors in non-foil. You can buy the Phyrexian Praetors in foil. You can now buy the Phyrexian Praetors in black and white. You can buy the Phyrexian Praetors in negative print, stamped, gold stamped, numbered. That is where this seems to be going. And Jake, it seems like they're starting with these secret inclusions in the secret layer. Numbered, we've seen this in sports cards. We've seen this in collectibles throughout time. First edition books. Jake, is this going to ruin MTG?
Well, for me, first of all, based on this information, no, definitely not. It's going to be a highly collectible card, but it is just a Viscera Seer. It's a common.
Yeah.
It's a foil. It is a card that's a nice combo card. It's played in EDH. It's going to have, it's a vampire, right? So it's going to have playability. People want this card in their deck. It's a combo piece. I think that people who play CEDH and really want to pimp out their decks are going to spring for this kind of stuff, but for the most part, I think this is like a golden ticket kind of thing where not a lot of the masses are going to find it. Actually, when you told me that Star City Games found this, I wasn't really surprised. I was surprised that it exists when you showed me, but I wasn't surprised that a big box store
because they'll be buying a lot of these to open in mass and then resell. So it
reminds me of that scene in Willy Wonka and Charlie and the Chocolate Factory,
where the factory's opening them,
where literally the one rich girl has hundreds of people just opening boxes and boxes and boxes to finally find the golden ticket, whereas some of us plebs who don't have that kind of cash are going to be very, very lucky to find one of these. There's a couple questions I have. One of them is it a numbered version of only 100 Viscera Seers, or is this one of 100 cards and we're going to see more Viscera Seers that are number 77 out of 100, for example.
Right.
And then there's going to be multiple copies of cards that are like number 1 out of 100. What is that card going to be?
Like, is it a set of backwards cards, or is 100 Viscera Seers in existence in the world. That would be crazy.
I think I would have to go with the former, dude. I think for me, it's going to be a set of 100 cards that have been picked out to be backwards text. It seems, let's say this, lazy. Rather than come up with stained glass planeswalkers, rather than get new artists to do new art.
Like the blueprints.
We own this art. Why don't we just flip it?
Flip the whole thing.
Put a little stamp on there, and then see what the internet does with it. For me, that's where my gut goes. My gut says Viscera Seer is going to be number 77 out of 100, and there's going to be other cards that are part of this set. And then what gets kind of crazy is there are 100 Viscera Seers. This is number 77 out of 100. And then, I mean,
that's the version of the reality that's
these
crazy.
Popping up, right? I think we would see more of these popping up. I don't know.
Dude, the version of this that is nuts is if these are 100 Viscera Seers that exist. That is, I would prefer it be that, because I think MTG could use a little hyper rarity collectible thing like that.
It is essentially a new rarity in
exactly.
a way.
Right. But we've had new rarities with the blueprint cards, with the stained glass planeswalkers. The crazier version of this to me is if this is one of 100 Seers. This is number 77 of 100 backwards Seers. The one that makes sense to me is they've picked out 100 cards. Like you said, there's a set of 100 cards that they're doing as flip cards or backwards cards or, inverted cards, whatever we end up calling them.
And then there end up being like 1,000 Viscera Seers,
right,
1,000 Goblin Guides,
we're
1,000 Bolas' Citadels, whatever
these secret
cards
layers are going out
use.
in the tens of thousands, and so that's how many I would expect, all of these layers to have one of the inverted of 100 cards. So in that reality where Viscera Seer is number 77 and there's 10,000 number 77 Viscera Seers, that means that there's 99 other cards that we need to find that are these inverted cards. So then, in that reality, I would say the ones that are legendary, the ones that are playable, like if Atraxa or King Kenny was a inverted card stamped number.
Nagila.
Dude, that is what Urza. These are the ones that would start commanding Marin. I'm just naming popular commanders at this point.
Just insane price point, right? It would just be like, it'd be very difficult to find this. But here's the thing, right? Here's the thing that I want to say is, why have we only seen this one? Like people have been getting praetors in the
for
mail,
like the
right?
last week. Yeah.
Is nobody opening them? Right. Is this like the first store that's just cracking open a bunch of these? I mean, I imagine we're going to see some people cracking open secret layers to see if they get one. But yeah, we need more information here. This is the very first card that we've seen. It is backwards. It's pretty wild. Let's talk about, I guess, the FOMO, the secondary market. There's some MTG Finance stuff that we should probably talk about this.
Yeah. How much do you think that this Viscera Seer is going to be on the secondary market, backwards stamped? And I think we have to talk about the two different realities until we realize exactly how this is going to land.
Definitely. Yes.
Is this like one of 10 to 50,000 copies of Viscera Seer inverted and stamped, and it's always going to stamp
is Viscera Seer the only card so far? Is this the only one that they're going to release?
Exactly.
Are there going to be more released in future secret layers depending on what they are? It's going to add an additional collectibility to secret layer products.
Right.
So if you're going over to eBay right now, I guess you're going to
I want to look at the blueprint cards first.
You should even search backwards text foil and see if anything has popped up on here that could give us new information to see if anybody that isn't from Star City Games has pulled one of these and put it on the secondary market. We might want to check completed listings and that kind of stuff.
So it's looking like it's not on eBay yet, so we don't really have any basis for comparison there. But I mean, okay, so the two different realities. If this is one of many number 77 Viscera Seers inverted, is this $100 card? Is this less than that? I mean, the blueprints are around the 40 to 50, some up into the 60, 70, if they are the highly played cards, like Swiftfoot Boots. Viscera Seer is a good combo piece. It exists in a lot of the 99s of Commander decks. I think that this one would be on the lower end, because you can go pick up a copy of this for a quarter or just go into a store.
If there are many of them, then I would say, if there are tons of them and they're popping up a lot, it could be as low as like a $5 card, right?
Right.
It could be like a $10 card. But if there are a few of them, if there are 100 of them, you know, I do think that it would be definitely above $100. If it's $100, if there are 100 of them total, I could easily see the card going for like $500, just because collectors are going to want that super exclusivity. And I think Wizards of the Coast has kind of warmed us up with this with Secret Lair over the years. At first, and I'll just talk about how I engaged with the product. I bought that very first super drop that came out, and then the next few drops after it, and then I realized the frequency of Secret Lair, and very quickly I tuned out from, well, I don't need to have all of those. I recently just skipped the Secret Life one just because that art didn't specifically resonate with me. And people, you could crucify me in the comments. He didn't buy the one for kids. No, I didn't. It just didn't fit in with my budget. And that's okay. You know, you don't have to buy all of these different Secret Lair products just because you want to be a completionist. What this really comes down to is this for you? Is this what you want to splurge on? Would you rather buy this than like a plateau for your deck, or like any other dual land, a whatever? You know, this really comes down to it's just a new level of FOMO. It's a new level of rarity in a lot of ways. It could be the stepping stone to something much bigger, which is rare cards, mythic cards done in this treatment. Wizards of the Coast owns the art to all of their cards. If they want to flip them and do something weird like this, they're fully entitled to. If you would go back to all the way in like Battle for Zendikar, Kaladesh, Amonkhet, those blocks where we first got, you know, expeditions, masterpieces, invocations, on the way, I call this the pre-variant era. I just brought this up in one of my last videos, but when you go like those pre-Throne of Eldraine times, it really is like, this is the kind of thing that people would have raged over. They would have been so mad about this. They would have been like, why is WotC like putting a card backwards? This is ridiculous. It took time to get us here. It really did. They had to warm us up with showcase cards, extended art cards. You know, it started off as box toppers, turns into extended arts. We had the actual rare variants before that, which were the masterpieces, invocations, the expeditions like we talked about. Yeah, it's wild, man. It's pretty wild to see.
I think that one of the main criticisms of this is that they're going to oversaturate and they're going to go too far, and it's going to be like baseball cards in the 90s or early 2000s. But the thing is that with that, you had a ton of different companies all competing and all oversaturating, and some had the licenses to the team names, some had the licenses only to the players' names, and it's a whole different arena. We would have to have a whole video breaking down what happened to the baseball card market or any of the sports cards market, but they're all coming back. It's all with this printed rarity, these special inclusions, you know, a piece of a player's jersey, some dirt from the field on a specific day. That exists in the sports cards world. And so us having these, I mean, look at Kaladesh block. That's the one that I point to.
Before we move on, though, from baseball, I want to say this. One of my favorite things that I got to do with my baseball cards was tap 3 mana, cast Cal Ripken Jr., and then be able to, you know, combo off and hit home runs using, you know, good batting average instant cards. And I mean, that's the big difference, right? You can literally play with these cards versus, oh, he was cool.
Well, and not only that, but you can go get a cheap copy. If you want a Viscera Seer to play with, you don't have to have this version. This
I'll
version
send you
exists.
one. You need a Viscera Seer to play with? Like, we got you.
Leave your address down in the comments below. Please don't do that. Also, your social security number and your phone number if you would.
Please definitely don't do that.
And we'll send you a free Viscera Seer so you can play with it, and we'll find these copies of the collectibles. That is the point. You can still get playable copies. I look at Kaladesh block. Any card from there that's not one of the chase cards is super cheap to acquire even today, because so much of that product was opened with people chasing treasure. Look at Modern Horizons 2 fetch lands. There are so many variants of those fetch lands that the base level copies, the playable copies, the game pieces that you need to play are affordable. So much more affordable than they were even 6 months ago. Because
every masterpiece, invocation card, every single expedition has a variant that is the bottom line variant of it.
Right.
Especially after Modern Horizons 2 and stuff. So, I mean, it's like, yeah, man. I mean, this doesn't really bum me out. I'll tell you this straight up. This is essentially an NFT. All of the MTG cards are actually NFTs. This is very much so like a limited edition. I would say this is the first time that we've ever seen this
Yeah,
is, I mean, not a backwards card, but that number that
for
says
me personally,
whatever out of 100.
This is very exciting. This is something that we always sort of saw coming, and this is a very exciting development to me. But
Joel,
what
you
we
can't
really
think
need to
like
know,
that.
what
You
we really
can't
need to
talk-
know, I can't say it's exciting to me.
You can't. No, you can't have that opinion. You have to have the opinion that a lot of people have, which is that it's terrible, or else people are going to be mad at you, dude. You have to have the right opinion.
This is cool. I think that everything we've seen is that the highly collectible versions push the prices of the game pieces down, which makes the game more accessible, which makes more people able to play it. And that is really all I want at the end of the day. Everybody, if you comment below 1 out of 100, 2 out of 100, look for whichever ones have already been claimed, but you can claim a copy of this video out of 100 as a special collectible version of the video. Just comment below which one you claim. Make sure you don't claim the same one as anybody else, but you can own a piece of history below. That should piss some people off. What do you think?
I'm just going to say this before we get out of here.
One
because
more
I know
closing.
that people are ready. One more closing. I am so mad about it, and I'm going to let this command my day. I'm going to let this drive my day. There's a lot of stuff going on in the earth that is way worse, and this tops it, baby.